Hey guys, John Soda here, back again doing another movie review, and today we'll be reviewing It the Movie. Now, before we get into reviewing It the Movie, I want to real quick show you guys something that I forgot to show you in my reviews of the It 1990 miniseries and the book review. The It book actually inspired me to write a story of my own. Like, because like when I grow up, I want to be a movie director, so I decided to write my own script for it, the child part at least. Um, so yeah, and like yeah, this book really inspired me to make a story of my own, and this book takes place like nowadays. It takes place in 2017. I wrote this like way back like in December of 2017, and then I finished on September of 2018, like when I was 12, going to be 13. And yeah, it's pretty long. Like it looks like a script. Yeah. So so yeah, it's pretty long, and like I went back to read it recently, and like I gotta say, this script like is horrible. Actually, this script, like I don't know what I was thinking. Like there is so much horrible dialogue in this book, and there are a lot of cheesy moments in this book. But there are some really great moments I added with Pennywise. Like there was some really scary moments that I added here. I'll try to show you guys an excerpt. Oh, hold up, let me find one. Okay, here's a little excerpt if you can see it. Okay. And then like I even added this like small plot line where like Bill has a speech therapist like helping him out with the stutter, but it's not working. So yeah, I added some like new plot lines in here too. So yeah, I'll probably do a review on this probably later on today, because like there is a lot to talk about with my It script. So yeah. So now let's get on to talking about the It movie. Now the It movie is directed by Andy Muschietti and features Bill Skarsgård, Jaden Lee Burr, Jeremy Reed Taylor, Jack Dylan Grazer, Sophia Lillis, Finn Wolfhard, Tilden Jacobs, Wyatt Oleff, Nicholas Hamilton, Jackson Robert Scott, Javier Botat, Jake Sim, Owen Teague, Logan Thompson, Megan Carpentier, Stephen Bogert, Joe Bostic, Katie Kerman, and Tatum Lee. So the plot of the It movie is it has the same plot as the book did. Like several kids are going missing, and so like seven kids like band together to try to stop this shapeshifting monster that's eating dairy. So yeah, um, yeah, and like yeah. So do I like the It movie? Yeah, I love the It movie. Actually, this movie is actually my favorite out of all the adaptations of the movies. Actually, this one is really good. I love the It 2017 movie. It's just really good. It's really entertaining. It has so much themes in it. It is very faithful to the book, and it has some of the same tones the book did, and it is really good. So yeah, this is probably the adaptation that's most faithful to the book too, actually. So yeah, just this movie is just really good. They did the greatest they could adapting it. So yeah, and this movie is rated R. It's not PG-13 like the old one. But yeah, it's rated R, and it has a lot of necessary rated R stuff from the book, like the kids cussing all the time, and like Beverly smoking sometimes. So yeah, and like a lot of blood and a lot of horror and a lot of scenes where it shows like kids dead and all of that. So yeah, the R rating was pretty necessary. So yeah. Let me think. Yeah, all the characters in this movie, they did a damn good job adapting the Losers Club. This is the Losers Club come to life. It is beautiful. I love the Losers Club in this movie. So yeah, I really love the Losers Club in this movie. In this movie specifically is my second favorite kids in any group of kids in any movie. So yeah. And I don't think this will be my top 15 favorite movies, but it'd be top 20 actually. So yeah. Let me think. Yeah, this movie's just really good. I love it so much. I don't think there's much of flaws with this movie that I have with it. So yeah, let me think. Yeah, just all the characters are amazing. Like they did a really good job adapting Bill. Bill, like he still has a stutter, but what I don't like about it is that Bill, like Bill Silver Bike doesn't really have much of a huge role in the movie, but in the book it did. So yeah. But like they still kept his stutter, and like what I love is this new plot line that they brought in for Bill was that they never saw Georgie's body. Like when Georgie died in the beginning, it was really scary actually. That scene was horrifying. So yeah, like Pennywise dragged him inside the sewer, so no one ever found Georgie's body. So like Bill thinks that Georgie might be alive, that he's missing. So like So like throughout most of the movie, he thinks he's alive. That like it's like still has him and all of that, and like that he's just missing. He doesn't know he's dead. So yeah, and that was a really cool plot point actually. That was really clever for plot point for Bill actually. So yeah, I really like that plot line. So yeah. And then Ben, they did a really good job adapting Ben too. Like he's a lot more fatter than he was in the old movie, and like yeah, and like he's just still really cute like he is in the book. They still kept in like his crush with Beverly. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that Bill also has a crush on Beverly too, and like this really cute love triangle. So yeah, let me think. And then they still kept in the poem, and like they brought in a new plot point with Ben too. That instead of Mike finding out the histories of Derry like it was in the book, Ben finds out the histories of Derry. Now, me personally, that plot point should have gotten to Mike, in my opinion. Like, they should have put that plot point to Mike, but I personally still like Ben finding out the histories and all of that. And I thought that was pretty necessary for this movie because, like, Ben was always in the library and he's always been alone, so, like, he has to, like, learn something from the library. So, yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say about it? Let me think. Oh yeah, just yeah. Ben is just really good, and like he's still. There's a little bit of differences of Ben from the book, just a little bit. So yeah, they did a really good job adapting him. And Eddie, they did such a good job adapting Eddie in this movie. Yeah, Eddie. They still kept in like his mom being overprotective on him and all of that, and him being scared of germs and all of that. So yeah, they still kept in his appearance too, like that he's shorter than all the other kids. So yeah, that was really cool too. So yeah, and Eddie was still really cool. He was really funny too. Like, and I love all the stuff with like his placebos and his inhaler and all of that. And like later on, like he finds out that his pills are bullshit. Like his pills are bullshit, and like he yells at his mom for it. And then he's like, "They're gazebos. They're bullshit." That thing was pretty funny. So yeah, yeah. Eddie was just still really cool. Yeah. Let me think. And then there's Beverly. Now, I love Beverly. They did a really good job adapting Beverly in this movie. Beverly, she was still the same as she was in the book, and that was really cool. So, yeah, they still kept in the physically and sexually abusive father in there, but they didn't bring her mother that would barely see her. So, yeah, but, like, what else is there? What else is there I should talk about? What else about oh yeah, but like they brought in some new stuff like the father raping her. The father raping her wasn't in the book, but yeah, and that was really dark actually. So yeah, and they brought in a new plot point where like Bev had like long hair and like she cut it short so like her father won't like rape her again and like her appearance will not look the same. So yeah, yeah, and that was a really cool plot point too. So yeah. Let me think. Yeah, and Bev was still like the most mature out of all the losers. So yeah, that was really cool. And like she was still like really like she was still like at times she would like yell at the losers a lot and yeah like in the book. So yeah, just like and she was still really sweet with the losers too, like in the book. So yeah, and let me think. The What else about Bev? Oh, don't worry, cause like if you guys haven't seen the movie already and you guys read the book, don't worry. The orgy scene from the book is not in the movie, and um I at the same time I would have liked to see how that would turn out, but I probably would have wanted to like see that turn out in the movie, but I can definitely see why they didn't do that. So yeah, I can really see why they didn't do that. So yeah, but yeah, Beverly was still a really cool character in this movie. So yeah. Let me think. And then there's Richie. Richie was the funniest character of this whole movie. Just like in the book, he's the same as he is in the book. And he's really funny. He was like the funniest part of the book. And once again, he is the funniest part of the movie. So, yeah, they captured Richie perfectly in this movie. So, yeah, they made his appearance look the same as in the book, having glasses, having long hair. So, yeah, that was really cool. So, yeah, and him doing his voices was really funny. And him doing stereotypical jokes to Stan and all of that, and him doing a lot of mom jokes too. Eddie's mom was really funny too. So yeah, and let me tell you guys two funny lines that really have me cracking up a lot with Richie. It's in the beginning where they're throwing out like all their school stuff from their backpack in the trash, and then Stan's like, best feeling ever. And then Richie's like, yeah, try tickling your pickle for the first time. Yeah, that it was funny. And then like later on in the movie where all the kids said that they saw Pennywise and all of that, Richie's just like, wait, can only virgins see this stuff? Is that why I'm not seeing this shit? Yeah, that was really funny. So yeah, that it was perfect casting. Finn Wolfhard as Richie was perfect. So yeah, Richie was like definitely the funniest part of this movie, and like every line, like most of the lines he says in this movie are funny. So yeah, let me think. Is there anything else about Richie? Yeah, and they kind of like I think at times they showed that Richie was a bit of a pervert at times. So yeah, and that was a pretty cool moment too. So yeah. Let me think. In the book, Richie would smoke a lot, but like they didn't keep that in the movie, so yeah. That's just one nitpick. I think they should have kept in the movie. So yeah. Let me think. What else is there about Richie? Is there anything else about Richie I should say? Yeah, just Richie was just the funniest part of this whole movie. So yeah. And then like Mike was a really good character too, but like in the book, Mike had a lot of character development, but in both adaptations, he's the one with one of the least character development. So yeah, but like here, he has a lot of screen time, but like very little character development. But like he's the same as he's a little different as he was in the book. His story was a little different because in the book he lived with his parents and he had a farm with them, but in the movie he has a farm with his grandparents and his parents died when he was really young in a house fire. So yeah, and that was a really cool plot point too. But he should have had a bit more in the movie, like maybe have him be the one to discover the histories of Derry and have just a couple more scenes with him in the farm. So yeah, that would have been a bit cool if they gave that to Mike. But Mike was still a pretty good character. So yeah, let me think. Yeah, and I really like that scene where he's first introduced and like he's like saying that if then he's not like as toughened up as like the farmers and all of that. And like he's like, and I like how like they kept in that he was the only black kid in Derry and all of that. So yeah. Was there anything else? Yeah, just like he was a yeah, and I really like the steamboat he always uses in the movie. That was a really cool thing too. So yeah. And then there's Stanley Uris. Stanley Uris did have a more character development than in the book. So yeah, and that was another positive and improvement from the book. So yeah, Stanley had a lot more to do, but like he was still a little bit of a background character in some scenes. So yeah, but we learned a lot about him that like he had this like bar mitzvah, but he was like struggling with it a lot. So yeah, and he was like he was a bit scared of. Oh wait, no, this wasn't in the movie. So yeah, but he just had a hard time with the bar mitzvah and all of that. So yeah, and his worst fear is the painting. So yeah, and that was really cool too. So yeah, and that scene was really scary actually. The painting scene, his first encounter with it was really scary. So yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else? I think that's all about Stan. But like he still gets picked on for being a Jew, and they still do the jokes on him. So yeah. And then there's Henry. They did a really good job adapting Henry in this movie, but they could have just done like a little bit more with him, but it was still really cool. Yeah, they definitely put in a lot more stuff than in the original movie with Henry. Like they added that scene where Henry killed his father, and like he chased down the kids in the sewers and tried to kill them, but then he failed. So yeah, they still kept that in, but they didn't like keep the scene in where like he was the one to chase after them in the sewers. He was just meeting them there. So yeah. Um, Let me think. What else is there? Yeah, Henry was really crazy in this movie. Like, he had like his switch knife, and like he would always like pick on the kids so much. And like the scene from the book where he cuts an H on Ben's stomach, like did make it to this movie, and that scene was really disturbing. So yeah, and like yeah, he was just really crazy, and like just all the scenes with him like tormenting the kids was just really crazy. So yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say? Yeah, but like they could have kept him where like he was really angry at the kids for like the rock fight. And the rock fight in this movie, they didn't capture it very well, I would say. Like it was more of like a comedy. In the book, it was really emotional and like yeah, and it was really emotional and it really got you in that stood up for themselves from the bullies. But here, it's kind of a comedy in a way. It's used for comedy, like they're throwing like really big rocks at them, like boulders, like and like yeah, and you're just not surprised that they don't have a concussion. So yeah, and like in the background, there's like rock music playing, and it's just and then like it's in slow motion at times, and like Belcher just like fuck you, bitch. And yeah, it's just made for comedy. So yeah, but it's still pretty funny though. Like it's still pretty funny, but I just wish they could have gone for a way better tone for that scene. So yeah, and they should have like brought in where like he broke it, where he was the one that broke Eddie's arm for doing the rock fight. So yeah, I guess that's one negative I could say about the movie. So yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else about Henry? Yeah, just Henry. That scene where he killed his father was just really scary. So yeah, and Pennywise turned like in this TV and all that was just really scary. So yeah, yeah, and like he just turned out really crazy by the end of the movie. So yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else? Yeah, all his other friends too didn't even have any character development at all. They were mostly to the background, and there was mostly just to the side of him. And they actually brought in Patrick Hockstetter from the book, but they totally wasted him in this movie. Like they totally wasted him. They didn't even like show the refrigerator or mention anything from his past at all. They totally wasted him. He only showed up in the first act of the movie and then died like right in the first right at the end of the first act of the movie. So yeah, he was just completely wasted. So yeah. Let me think. I thought they handled Georgie really well in this movie, like Bill being afraid of Georgie and all of that, and like Pennywise turning into Georgie. I thought they handled that beautifully in this movie. So yeah. Let me think. Was there anything else I should say? Let me think. Oh yeah, there's also another bully, a new bully character in this movie named Greta. Greta Keen. In the book, she was Greta Bowie, but in here they renamed her to get Greta Keen and made her Mr. Keen's daughter. So yeah, she was another bully to the Loser Club. Like she would always bully Beverly so much, and I forgot to mention that too. Beverly did have a very dark life at school too, because a lot of people picked on her because they thought she was a whore and all of that. They would pick on her for being a whore. So yeah, that was a really dark thing too. So yeah, and like Greta would always pick on Beverly for being a whore and all of that. So yeah, and she even like picked on a lot of the other losers too, like Eddie too. Like she wrote loser on his cast, and that was really messed up. So yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else? Yeah, I think that's all the characters. Yeah, all the characters were really good. The scenery to this movie was amazing, actually. So, yeah, they captured Derry beautifully in this movie. It was exactly how I thought of the book. So, yeah, they captured Derry beautifully in this movie. So, yeah, I love how they captured Derry. So, yeah. Let me think. I just wish they could have had a bit more scenes in the Barrens, because the Barrens, there wasn't really much scenes of the kids going to the Barrens a lot. But there could have been a bit more scenes in there, because like the book had a lot of that. But it's okay. So yeah. Let me think. Wait, I forgot to talk about Pennywise. How could I have forgotten to talk about Pennywise? Pennywise in this movie was fucking scary. He was more scary than Tim Curry's Pennywise, actually. He was really scary. So, yeah, he was terrifying so much. And, like, I love the smile he always did. I can do it, too. Watch. Yeah, that smile. Yeah, that was just a really clever smile. So yeah, that was really cool. So yeah, just like Bill Skarsgård captured Pennywise as his own so much. So yeah, he just did a fantastic job playing Pennywise. So yeah, and I love the voice he gives too. And he's just really scary. Like all the scenes with Pennywise appearing were just really scary. So yeah, and like I love his teeth too. Like when his teeth come out, it's like so many layers of teeth. So yeah, and that's really creepy. So yeah, that was a really cool thing too. So yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else about Pennywise? Yeah, all the scenes with him are just really creepy. Like the scene where like he appears to Mike as the hands in the door, and then like he's just staring at him like once the door opens. So yeah, that scene was just really scary. And then the scene with the leper was really well done. So yeah, and I'm glad they didn't put the weird dialogue from the book in there. So yeah, that was a little bit of a positive from the book. So yeah, that scene was really scary. And then he shows up as Pennywise himself with like a triangle of balloons, and he's telling him, "Come join the clown's heads. We'll float down here. We all float down here," and all of that. So yeah, it was just really creepy. So yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else? Yeah, him appearing as the headless boy was really creepy too in the library. So yeah, and the scene when in the basement of Bill's house was really creepy. So yeah, where he appeared as Georgie, and then like he was running full speed toward Bill, but then Bill barely made it out. So yeah, that scene was really scary. So yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else? Is there any other scene? Yeah, just this Pennywise was just really creepy in this movie, and I really loved the scene. It was really creepy too, where like Mike was getting beat up by Henry and then his team, and then like Mike sees like Pennywise in the bushes, and then like he's just staring at him, and then he holds up this arm and this like broken arm. So yeah, that scene was really scary. So yeah, and all the scenes with him at Nebo were really scary. Like that one scene where he's doing like a dance toward Eddie, and he's like tackling him and like doing a lot of stuff to him, and like just like being like playful slash being playful in a like a really scary and really like I don't know what to call it, but like in a really murderous way. So yeah, that scene was probably the scariest scene of the entire movie, was when he was like doing like a little act for Eddie, like right up all in his face. That scene was really creepy. So yeah, Eddie definitely had it the worst in that scene. So yeah, and the beep beep Richie was really creepy too, and they really captured. They didn't. What I didn't like was that there was no scenes where the kids would say beep beep Richie to him, only the clown. So yeah, and that was the thing I forgot about to talk about in the book, was I loved beep beep Richie in the book. It was basically just telling him like shut the fuck up Richie or something like that. So yeah, beep beep Richie was funny in the book, but they should have captured it more in this movie. So yeah. And yeah, and I thought like him appearing, like the end battle in the end with Pennywise was really scary and really awesome too. So yeah, and I love the scene where Pennywise is dancing in the circus car, like in front of Beverly. That scene was really funny and really disturbing. So yeah, that scene was really entertaining. So yeah. The actors, okay, no more talking about Pennywise. He's just terrifying in this movie. So yeah, and the makeup work was amazing for him. So yeah, the actors to this movie are amazing. All the actors play these characters amazing. Like most of the times in movies, kid actors don't really do a good job, but here these actors were amazing. Andy Muschietti did such a good job with directing these kids. So yeah, they just did such a good job. So yeah, and you can really buy their performances too, and the performances are what really make you buy the Losers Club come to life. So yeah, the actors were so good in this movie. So yeah. And the soundtrack to this movie was amazing. The soundtrack was beautiful. Like I love the whole soundtrack to this movie. It was so beautiful. I even catch myself listening to it at some times too. Like I have it in my Spotify list too. So yeah, I love Every 27 Years. I love Beverly's theme. I love the Time to Flow theme. I love the Blood Oaths theme. So yeah, I just love all the music in here. So yeah. Let me think. Yeah, the comedy. This movie has a lot of comic relief in it, and it all works. So yeah, the pacing to this movie was amazing. I love the pacing to this movie. Like this movie was paced beautifully. Like it's 2 hours long, but you don't even feel it. It goes by really fast. So yeah, it just goes by really fast. So yeah, the pacing was just amazing. So yeah. And Andy Muschietti definitely had such a good heart in making this movie. So yeah, and I don't get why he didn't use that same heart with the next movie. So, but we'll talk about that next. So yeah, let's think. Let me think. Yeah, they really captured a lot of the things from the book really well in this movie. So yeah, is there anything else I should say? Yeah, this movie was really suspenseful at times, and it all worked. So yeah. This movie was just really scary, so yeah, I think this might be the scariest out of all the adaptations too. So yeah, let me think. Is there anything else I should talk about? Okay, I'll just get into some scenes that I really loved and thought were really enjoyable. I love the scene where all the losers are swimming in the quarry. That scene was really beautiful and really emotional and really enjoyable and really entertaining. So yeah, I love that scene so much where they're swimming in the quarry, and then like Beverly's with them, and then like they're looking at Beverly sunbathing in a bikini with music playing. Like they're all looking at her, and then like that scene's really funny. Like they're all just staring at her, and then when she goes to look at them, like they just stare away. They just look like at other places. So yeah, that scene was really funny. Let me think. Is there any other scenes I should talk about? Let me think. Yeah, I really like that scene in the pharmacy too when they first meet Bev. Yeah. Let me think. Yeah, that scene was really creepy with Mr. Keene too. So yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say? Well, what else is there? Let me think. Um. So yeah, I really like the scene where like they're I love this scene so much where like where they're in like the projector scene. That I love that scene so much. Where they're looking at the map of Derry, like where it could be in and all of that. So and then like out of nowhere, like Pennywise, like the projector starts flicking by itself and all of that, and then Pennywise's face appears on it, and then like they kick the projector, and like the projector's still flicking on, and then like at first there's a really blank picture of a wall, and then out of nowhere like Pennywise appears to them with he's showing all his sharp teeth, and that scene was really scary. And then he's just like crawling towards all the losers, and then he goes for Bev, and he almost eats her, but then they pull up the garage door, and then he disappears. So yeah, that scene was really scary. So yeah, let me think. What else is there? Let me think. Is there any other scenes I would like to talk about? Yeah, I really like the way this movie ended too, with like the blood oaths and everything, and like Bill like realizing that his brother is actually dead, and that he starts crying. That scene was really sad and really emotional, and really got you feeling bad for him. And yeah, that scene always makes me cry. So yeah, that scene was just beautifully done. So yeah. They defeat Pennywise in this movie very differently than in the book. In the book, they use the ritual of chewed on him, but they bring it back in the second one in such a horrible way. So yeah, but like I'll get to that in the next review. So yeah. Let me think. That they don't use the ritual to chew on him. They just like do this whole battle, like this whole fight battle. They're just beating the shit out of him, like, and they're not scared of him. Like Pennywise is just morphing into their fears and all of that, and then like they're just like not afraid of him. They're just punching him out and knocking him out with baseball bats and chains and all of that, and not and like knives and all of that, and like the steamboat. So yeah, that scene was actually a really cool ending actually. So yeah, and then Pennywise like showing that he's afraid of them now. He's afraid of the losers now, and his eyes are green. So yeah, that scene was really scary. And then he just like falls back, and he falls into the sewer hole. So yeah, let me think. Is there anything else I should say? Yeah, and I love the blood oath scene. The blood oath scene was beautiful. Actually, it was beautifully done. In the book, it was Stan was the one to have the idea to do the blood oath, and I forgot to talk about that when I was talking about Stan. That Stan was the one that had the idea to do the blood oath, but then but that really got to him later on when he grew up, and that's what really made him kill himself. So yeah, but in here it was Bill that made them do it, and that worked. That definitely worked. So yeah, that really worked. So yeah, let me think. Is there anything else I should say? Yeah, that scene was just really beautifully done, where they cut all their hands and they hold them, and then they do this blood oath, swear that if it ever comes back, then they'll come back too. So yeah, that was just really beautifully done. And then like after that scene ends, like all the losers leave, but Bill and Beverly are the last to leave, and then like Bill goes and kisses Beverly, and that scene was so beautiful. So yeah, just he kisses Beverly, and then he walks her, and then like she kisses him like once they're done. So yeah, and then like after that she just walks away, and it ends with Bill's emotional face, and then it ends with saying it. Chapter 1, which really gets you like thinking so much. They're gonna make a second one, so yeah. To rate this movie, I'll definitely rate it an A+. Yeah, I love this movie so much. So yeah, bye, and see you all.